My son Dylan was born 16 years ago with a congenital heart defect. Dylan was born in November after a normal pregnancy. He was born 2 weeks early, but gosh, Dylan weighed 8'1", 21 inches long. And a couple of hours after he was born, our pediatrician came in. He was born at 6:11 in the morning on 11/6. And our pediatrician came in, his APGAR score was super low. And at that point in time is when they took Dylan out to figure out why his APGAR score was low.
When he was born, we're really excited. Here we are having another son, which is pretty cool. And then when Dr. Wheeler came in and said, "Hey, we need to take him to look at him a little closer," I seen him in the little ICU room there, and there were several doctors and nurses around him. And Dr. Wheeler saw me looking in there, and he came out and said, "Dylan's got some heart problems, and we're going to have to take him to Children's Mercy in Kansas City." And I said, "So, how long?" And he said, "Right now, the helicopter's coming to get him right now. This is pretty important." Those first, 72 hours, 96 hours was just a whirlwind of emotion, not knowing what was going to happen.
They waited for us to get there before they took him down to the cath lab so we could see him one more time.
We looked over, and as they're wheeling Dylan out of the elevator, the doctors and nurses are over and doing CPR, chest compressions, and breathing for him. And when you see that, when you see your child like that, I remember Kara sitting in the wheelchair and just thinking, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna lose our child right here."
They saw more extravagant circumstances than what they thought they were going to see. And so they came back out. They weren't in there very long. And if somebody's not in the cath lab very long, they probably can't do what they think they're going to do, right? So they came back out, and then we were all in a big conference room.
Dylan's heart is on this big screen, and the dye is coming through there. You can see where the blood's supposed to go, and when it gets to the pulmonary artery, it stops and doesn't go past that anymore. And Dr. Hubble was like, "It should go through there just fine. You should see blood going through the lungs."
What Dylan actually had was called pulmonary atresia. Years before, they called babies with pulmonary atresia blue babies. That PDA would close. They don't have a pulmonary valve. None. There's nothing going through where the pulmonary valve is supposed to be. So as soon as that PDA closes, they can't breathe. They can't get any oxygen. So if Dr. Wheeler wouldn't have caught what was going on and that PDA would have closed, Dylan would have more or less suffocated.
And he said, "We can go a long way here. We can do lots of things that we couldn't do even 2 or 3 years ago because of the research and because of the work that certain people have done. And there's a new thing that we want to try with Dylan. It was a wire perforation that they wanted to go in and open that pulmonary valve. They said that Dylan was the 6th patient ever to have this done. As in this hospital, I said, and he said, "No, 6th ever. This is where the research is taking us to, and we think this is going to work." The problem is we don't know which way the blood's going to go from his coronary arteries. If it goes one way, it's going to be great. If it goes the other way, then he'll die. And I said, "So what about the other 5? And he said that 2 have died, 3 have made it. And so that's what we're looking at. So do we have your permission to do this?" Said, "Do whatever you have to do to save our child, whatever it takes." And so he said, "Okay." And I remember that day when they came in, of course our pastor was there, our family was there, and Dr. Hubble came down and said, "It worked. It went the right way."
I'm Dylan Gallup. I'm 16 years old. I love to play baseball and I love to hunt. and I'm a congenital heart defect survivor. During my doctor visits and whatever, they're always saying, you know, sometime we're gonna need to do heart surgery. At first they said like when I was 12 or 13, then 15. So, and then it was more likely now this next time. So I was kind of looking forward to it just to get it out of the way. Then I didn't have to have it, and I just did a cath, and now I may never have to have it. So I would be just fine with that. The procedure helped me out a lot in sports. During baseball, if I would like, which doesn't happen a whole lot, but if I would hit like a triple, then when I would get to third, I would be so winded. I'd call time. I'd have to catch my breath. And now I hit like one or two this season, last year, and I'd get to third and I'd be just fine. So I can tell it's helped me out a lot, that I've had a lot more energy.
We're very fortunate that Dylan is 16 and super healthy. His heart's still not normal, but super healthy.
You know, very early on, we got involved with the American Heart Association. I remember from day one, they were there to help us and do things. You know, I can't imagine us doing things and going through this experience with them without the American Heart Association, and how appreciative we are of all the research that they've done. And, if it wasn't for their research, then it may have been our Dylan would not be here today to share his story.